Where do I even start? I'll admit it, I cried. Pull yourself together. What's up, everybody? Tara Wellman here. Welcome back to Birdseeds. If this is your first time here, hello. Take a look around. You'll find daily and weekly videos all about St. Louis and its crown jewel, the Cardinals, all to keep you, the fans, in the loop and entertained. This video is a little bit different. Something came up the other day and I wanted to talk with you about it. Baseball fan to baseball fan. Graham Bensinger is a sports reporter whose show In Depth with Graham Bensinger is scheduled to have an episode featuring the legend and former Cardinal Albert Pujols. Having watched a few of the preview clips they've put online, I have some thoughts. Ooh girl, do I have some thoughts. And evidently, so do all of you. Whew. Where do I even start? Okay, so you all know about my relentless belief in Kolten Wong, and I always say that Adam Wainwright is my favorite Cardinal. But what you don't know is that Albert Pujols is the OG. He was the one and only for me back in the day. I hadn't really thought much about him leaving for California in a long time, and I think that's really for three reasons. One, I can't change it, and I get that level of practicality from my mother, so thanks, Mom. But really, much like not going after Max Scherzer or Christian Yelich, or trading Luke Voit to the Yankees, or Tommy Pham to the Rays, miss you forever, Tommy Pham, it's done. I can't change it. And I do not have enough time or space in my head or my heart for that kind of emotional energy anymore. Second, because it was a long time ago and life moves on. But third, because it was really, really hard. I'll admit it, I cried. The day I got the news as a young fan, I shed actual tears. Why? It's just baseball. It's his life, not mine. It didn't change my world in any way. Plus, that contract was whack way back then, much less now. But why do we care so much? I don't know, but we do. I did. So I just sort of shut off that part of my heart as a fan so that I didn't have to think about it anymore. Because that is a very healthy way that I deal with difficult emotions. Don't psychoanalyze me too much, I already know. But anyway, one of the clips they released ahead of the full episode debut is Albert talking about the process that led to his decision to go to LA, and it's a doozy. We knew when he left that he felt disrespected, but to this extent? And not just by the offers the Cardinals made, but by the entire process? Say what you will about what he was actually going to be worth. It seems what he wanted the most was to be wanted. And honestly, don't we all? I mean, that's a pretty human element in all of this. I also thought it was super interesting as a sidebar that Tony La Russa evidently feels like if he had stayed after 2011, the Cardinals would have found a way to get Albert to stay too. That is the subplot that I need a follow-up on, Graham. Maybe it's in the full episode. We'll have to see. But then I wondered, what is a team's responsibility in all of this? The Cardinals have looked pretty smart about not giving that kind of money to a player whose production has gone downhill ever since. It is a business. How much should a team have to add to a contract to make someone feel important enough? But it's Albert Pujols, one of the greatest ever. What's a few more years or millions? But also, should anyone feel, I don't know, entitled sounds so negative, but entitled to some sort of legacy contract? The team obviously wanted a hometown comfort discount, and the player obviously wanted a hometown hero investment. Which one of those is fair? And is there even fair here? Pull yourself together. Since I hadn't thought about this in so long, I finished watching these clips and kind of asked myself, does this change how I feel about the Cardinals walking away from Pujols or Pujols walking away from the Cardinals? It does make me more convinced that the team has a bit of a disconnect as far as communicating with players. I mean, how hard is it to pick up the phone and call his agent in a timely manner? But mostly it just made me a lot less emotionally distraught or bitter towards Albert Pujols. If I think about the whole thing logically, he hasn't been great since then. He likely wasn't going to help the Cardinals win another championship. And he's happy. Maybe this is where he needed to be all along. I mean, I get it. I'm a person of faith. I've prayed about things, chosen the path that gave me the most peace, even if it didn't make sense, and it works out. So maybe this is exactly what needed to happen, and we should all just forget about it and stop talking about it. But sports fandom isn't logical. I just miss that guy. And it makes me sad for the sake of Cardinals fans that the business of baseball cost everyone a chance to see the greatness that is Albert Pujols, even if he was only that great for a few more years. Obviously, we'll never know exactly what went down and who was most wrong between them, but something soured that relationship, and like I said, for the sake of the fans, it's too bad. Now, none of this changes the fact that I think the contract he eventually signed was a bad contract. Let's not forget, it's 20 years, not just 10, thanks personal service contract. But it does make me strangely emotional again about the thoughts of what could have been. The bottom line is, I am suddenly painfully aware that seeing Albert Pujols return to Busch Stadium for the first time this summer is going to bring on all the feels. And quite honestly, I didn't expect to feel anything until now. So thanks, Graham Bensinger. And also thanks to Albert Pujols for being honest and transparent about the fact that leaving St. Louis, the city that loved him, wasn't as easy for him as we may have initially thought. And I guess that's my takeaway here. Albert loved St. Louis just as much as St. Louis loved him, and maybe they still both do. But it's never just that simple, is it? What about you? Did you see the clips from Graham Bensinger's show? Did you suddenly have emotions and questions that you had forgotten that you even had? Or was it just me? If you haven't seen the clips, I'll link them below, and while you're there, tell Graham I sent you. Now, if you are excited to see Albert Pujols back at Busch, give this video a thumbs up, and in the comments, let me know, are you Team Cardinals or Team Pujols? Don't forget to hit subscribe so you can come on back for more videos just like this. I'm Sarah Wellman, and I'll see you next time.